So this has been a revolutionary idea for me. I will tell you 2 stories to illustrate what I'm basically going to talk about. So the first story. You are sitting down in a room. You can feel that your hands are shaking, they are sweating a little bit too. When you look at your legs, they are clearly shaking as well. And you can feel a weird tightness in your chest, which is accompanied by your heart beating fast and strong. And you can feel a weird burning sensation on your face as well as your ears. But eventually you get up, you start walking, and you get to the place where you want to be. You start your preparation, and once that's done, you start talking. And what you can see in front of you are your classmates, which means that you are presenting in front of your whole class. And that's the end of the first story. Now let's go for the second one. You are sitting down in a room. You can see that your hands are shaking a little bit as well as sweating. When you look at your legs, they are shaking too. And you can feel a weird tightness in your chest, which is accompanied by your heart beating fast and strong. You can feel an unpleasant burning sensation on your face as well as your ears. But eventually you get up, you start walking, and you get to the place where you want to be. You start your preparation, and once that's done, you start talking. And what you see in front of you is your whole class, all your classmates and a teacher. And that's the end of the second story. And now you might have a question like, what's the difference between those 2 stories? But if you can read in between the lines, you might actually spot the difference. And the difference lies in their mindsets or the state of their minds, because their physiological reactions are basically the same as I explained in the story, but there is a huge difference in the frequency which they emit from their brains. Which means that when we look closely on the first example, now I will tell you what's going on in the mind of that person. And I will actually tell you like their exact thoughts. Like, what will happen if I will say something wrong? What if like my whole class will start laughing at me or something like that? Or what if the mistake which I will make will cause me to lose my reputation? What if my voice will crack once I am actually standing in front of the class? And that's what the first person is thinking. The second one is thinking these thoughts. I can't wait to finally talk about this topic which I have chosen. Hopefully I will have enough time to talk about all the points which I have prepared. I literally can't wait to step up on the stage and start talking. I am pretty sure you can spot the difference between those 2 people. And so the first story represents like a familiar feeling. A feeling which is very common. But the second one also actually represents something that's very common. And so the first one, I won't drag it for any longer, is fear. And the second one is excitement. And this is what I'm going to talk about in this video. Before we get into the facts which I have found on the internet, I want to mention that at the end of this video I will mention a 4-step protocol which you can use literally right away or wherever you are to switch your like state of fear or anxiety to state of excitement. And so stay till the end of the video. So let's look at the actual facts that Google has found. And so when we look at the physical symptoms of fear, it's as follows: sweating, trembling, shortness of breath or difficulty breathing, a choking sensation, rapid heartbeat, pain or tightness in the chest, and the most interesting one is the last one, a sensation of butterflies in the stomach. And you can definitely tell that this is also something you feel when you are excited. So let's look at what happens to our bodies when we are excited. We feel stomach sensations, which are butterflies in the stomach. So it's literally the same thing. We can be trembling, or we can feel weakness and have sweaty palms. It's literally the same thing when you are excited as well as when you are feeling fear. And now I will get to the actual difference between those 2 like physical states. And so the first one is, and it's actually connected to fear, that fear is connected to something negative. And so it's connected to the anticipation of a situation which could arise, and it's something that could put us into danger, or we are anticipating a threat. That's when we feel fear. And when we look at excitement, and when you see this, you probably think that I'm talking about common sense. Literally everyone knows this, and that's actually why I'm trying to keep this section of this video very short. And so excitement is connected to positive feelings, so anticipation of something positive that can happen or that is about to happen. Whereas fear, as I mentioned, is the anticipation of something negative or something potentially dangerous to us. And so that's like the main difference between those two. Otherwise, like the state of our physical bodies is literally the same. Maybe there are little differences here and there, but otherwise it's literally the same thing. And now, what can you actually do with the information I have shared with you? And it's actually pretty simple. For this, I have decided to prepare like a 4-step implementation process, which you can basically use right away when you are feeling stressed. And of course, there are many ways how you can like get rid of stress or at least lower the levels of stress, like mindful breathing techniques or visualization techniques and stuff like that. But sometimes you can't really suppress the fears which you are feeling. When it comes to public speaking, if you are someone who is afraid of that, you probably have tried many of the techniques which people have spoken about, but they usually don't actually work. Like, you still feel stressed as F and you don't know what to do about it. And sometimes in that case it's actually better to just accept those feelings, those like feelings of stress, and maneuver in a different way. And that different way is literally just reframing that whole feeling. Since excitement and fear are literally the same as I mentioned, this 4-step implementation protocol will actually be super helpful, I would say. I have tried it in my own life and it works pretty well. So the first step is for you to accept that feeling. I have already said it, and that's actually the first step. So just accept the feeling, don't try to suppress it or just escape those feelings. Just accept them and just let them flow naturally. I won't go into too much detail, I think it's somewhat like self-explanatory. As for the second step, you can ask yourself a simple question. What's the opportunity here? You might have already heard about this, but I wanted to like connect it to fear element or to the situations when you feel fear. And so once you ask yourself this question, you will come up with many ideas. For example, like, since I have already talked about public speaking, I will use this example. So like, what's the opportunity here once you are about to talk in front of people? So the first opportunity, or you could say benefit, is that you will learn how to present your ideas, you will learn how to talk properly, you will learn how to cope with stress. Basically, this whole situation is coping with stress or finding solutions how you can overcome stress in a different way. And I don't know, the fourth could be how you can present yourself in a manner that other people will find you likable, and so on and so on. And by doing so, you will gain like a different point of view, that there are positive sides to the situation that you are in, and that will create like a motivation element. And this will help with the third step, which is that you shouldn't think about what could go wrong, as I mentioned in the first story. Instead, just don't think anything first. After you have accepted the situation and found like many benefits in it, just stay silent for a second. Once you achieve silence, then you can start reframing your whole idea of the situation. And so start saying, like, literally, even if you have to force it, then forcefully say that you are excited about this whole situation, that it's actually an exciting situation to be in, and that you can't wait to finally go and destroy it. And once you do that, your body will react to those words, because since your physiological reaction is literally the same in both of those like states, all you need to do is to reframe your mind about the situation. And so once you do that, the last step, which is not really a step because it's connected to the whole process, is to just go and do it. Just think of it as a challenge, as something that you want to overcome, as a stepping stone for you to grow. And that's like the end of the 4-step protocol which I wanted to mention. And it's something you can do right away whenever you feel like you are stressed. Just in simple words, all you have to do is to think of the stressful situation as a situation which is exciting. And that's what I wanted to mention in this video. Hopefully it was valuable. If you have any questions or something you want to add, you can comment it down below. And that way you will also help me boost the video. and afterwards you can watch this video next. What are you waiting for, man? Just click on this video.